Hello, what's up, guys? Here I'm Sailesh, and I will explain you the complete column chemistry. In current scenario, what happens in in ADL department, analytical development laboratory department. So many columns are used, and in during the method development, people are confused about which column to use and start with which column, and which column is better than any other column. So I will explain all the scenarios and all the criteria which column is used for the which purpose, and what are the basic chemistry behind every column. So I will explain each and every uh, mm, point, and I will explain some examples that if you are using this column, then you will get the better results. And this is the best idea for me, that I can think that this type of column does will if you choose this the type of column, then you will get the better resolutions and better separation. It will be very much useful for chromatographic purposes, and you can extract impurities in small time by reducing the time, and you will get better ideas how to solve the chemistries impurities purposes, and purposes, and you will be better by method development. So let's start. I'm Sailesh. Here I will what is the outline. Seminar outlines is silica surface chemistry and physical chemistries, characteristics, silica bonding properties, spatial column chemistries, and column choices. So first of all, what is silica column characteristics? That divided into two parts. First part is the surface chemistry, and second is surface area. In surface chemistry, it is also divided in two parts, that is silanols and bonding. Surface area is divided in two parts, that is pore and particle size. Pore is also divided in two parts, size and distribution. Particle size is also divided in two parts, like size and distribution. Silica is stable at pH 1 to 11. Its range is depend on the manufacturer's bonding. Let's start with Jorbex. Jorbex porous silica particles, that is divided in silica salts plus urea plus CH2O. That is by heated and giving the oxygen in it will convert it into its particle. That is here I have given all the particles 1.8 micron or 3.5 micron or 5 micron or 7 micron. These all are the Jorbex RX column. Here I will explain, and this is the porous part. That is the 18 angstrom or 95 angstrom or 300 angstrom. Whatever the depends on the particle size, it will be explaining in completely details in the each and every columns. If you will see the columns, you will get all the details in the properties of the column. Okay. Then the history of HPLC particle development, that 1950 in 1950s era, what happens, the particle size is like that. It is about 100 microns, and particle plates per 15 centimeter is 200. Then in 1967 it is reduced by 57 micron, like these, and plates per 15 centimeter is 1000. In 1972 it is also reduced like these, 10 micron, and plates is 6000. What means a plate means you will get the better results at the time of the method development. That is the plates that I will explain you in further in our next slides. In 1985 it is further reduced in like these, and nominal size is 5 micron, and plates is 12,000 plates for 15 centimeters. In 1992 it is also reduced like these. It is 3.5 micron, and plates is 22,000. And in 2003, in current era, what happens, the particle size is also reduced in very minimum size, like less than 2 micron, and plates is above the 30,000. That is very good, that we can develop more and more impurities in current era. Column packed with smaller particles provide higher efficiency. Column packed with smaller particles means if it is given in flow and it is sub 2 microns, here 3 micron, 5 micron, 10 micron, you can see the results. Okay. And pore size recommendations, then if you using the 60 to 80 angstroms pore size, column packing to separate small molecules equal to or less than 4000 megavolt to MW to maximize loading capacity and retention. Okay. And if you use the 90 to 300 angstrom pore size, then for the larger molecules like polypeptide and proteins from 4000 to 5 lakh, then to maintain the high efficiency, increase column diameter to increase the loading capacity. If you increase the column diameter, this then it will increase the column loading capacity. Okay, column loading means C18 or C8 or whatever the carbon loading that is given in the column loading capacity. Okay, chemistry variations, are all CNT the same? No. It is depends on the type of bonding, completeness of the bonding, carbon loads, silica chemistry, bonding chemistries, and capping. It will all depends on these properties. So it will depends on these. Monomeric versus polymeric bonding. What is the monomeric and what is the polymeric? That will I will explain this here. Monomeric means typical Jorbax bonding, Eclipse plus Eclipse XDB, stable bond, bonus RP, Agilent HC or TC. This all containing in the monomeric bonding. And polymeric bonding means Eclipse pH. Polymeric means there are so many bonds. It is called as the polymeric. And monomeric means there is only one bond, that is called as the monomeric. Like here it is given is monomeric, that is only one bond, one surface, one OH bond is replaced with this one silica. So it is called as the monomeric. And here it is like a chain of this polymeric silane, that is so it is called as the polymeric C18 silica. Then next is the carbon load. Carbon load refers to the percentage carbon content of the silica bonded in stationary phase. Here you will know that what is the stationary phase and what is mobile phase, that is explained. You will know if you are because you are the in the method development department and doing the analytical development, so we'll better knows the what is the stationary phase and mobile phase, that I don't have to tell you. Then carbon load refers to the percentage carbon content of the silica bonded stationary phase. Generally speaking, a high carbon load, for example 18 to 25%, results in a more hydrophobic surfaces. The surface is also more resistant to high pH. If pH is high, then its surface is more resistant, that I have explained here. A high carbon load does not necessarily provide the base resolution. This is and this is true. The surface of silica supports surface. Here I have given free silanols, here geminal silanols, and here associated silanols. It is like decreasing the acidity. It is decreasing the acidity decreasing. And here's surface metal and internal metal activated silanol, most acidic. Okay. Chromatographic improvement using highly purified Jorbax RX select. Okay. Here original Jorbax in 1973 and other type A silicas basic compound can tail. Here you can see that it is the basic compound and it is tailing. Here so much tailing that we cannot separate this impurity. Here we have to separate this impurity, and for the separation we have taken in 1987 there is Jorbax RX silane and other type B silicas. Basic compounds have less tailing, lower effective silanol pK, lower effective silanol pK. It is the very good big shape and you can separate it easily. Potential ion exchange and hydrogen bonding. Secondary interaction. SiO minus Na plus R3NH plus is reversibly converted into SiO minus N plus R3 plus sodium plus. Okay. Ionized silanols SiO minus ionized silanol will ion exchange with protonated bases, here R3NH plus, which can cause tailing and method variability. This occurs most often at mid pH where the silanols are ionized. Hydrogen bonding, here SiOH plus RCOO minus is reversibly converted in SiO minus H plus and OOCr minus. Unprotonated acids, dear unprotonated acids can complete for H plus with protonated silanols. Like this can occur at low pH. Some mobile phase additives can be added to the mobile phase to reduce these interactions, and this will be discussed in mobile phase sections. Okay, we will discuss it in further lectures. Zorbeck stable bond with RX seal improves peak shape. Okay, what here telling given is the Zorbeck's RX sealant is improving the peak shape. This is improving the peak shape. Here you can see, and here you can see the peak shapes. Silica type more silica, more acidic column is ODS 4.6 into 250 mm 5 micron. Plates is 92, that is here plates is 92 and 5%. We cannot say that it is a good shape, so we cannot consider. And here type silica is highly purity RX seal. SBC18 column, we have taken here SBC18 4.6 into 150 5 micron plate 6371. It is okay, and USPTF is 5%. We can consider it this it is better than this. Very much high purity RX seal improves the peak shape dramatically on the on a C18 column. Okay, so what bonded phase do I choose? For the greater than 20% organic, 20% organic, C18 offers the most retention. Maybe too much for some samples. If we are taking the C18, less retentive than C18, but with similar selective in most cases. Phenyl column, if we are taking the phenyl column, it will significantly less retentive for non-polar compounds, but retain polar compounds, so reduces analysis time for mixtures if polar or non-polar. If we will taking the cyanide column, CN column, then least retentive. Changes in selectivity good for reducing the analysis time with late eluters and avoiding the gradient separation. It will says that it will reduce the time if any impurity is coming in very much late time. Then if we are choosing the cyanide column, that it will come is about 10 to 15 at about below 1 hour, so it will better for the reducing time and gradient separations. Now what is gradient separation? We are known as we will know is better that it is converted in 3 parts, and it will 1 to here, then mobile phase E to B to C. That is called as the gradient. That is very much important in method development. Okay, a high aqueous mobile phase is that is below 20% organic. If it is the 20% below 20% organic, means about 80% up. If it is not organic, if it is aqueous, that if we are using the CA18 column, rarely offers retention advantages and selectively more not to be optimum with little retention. If we are using the C8, then often provides a little more retention time than the retention than C18 with similar selectivity. If we are taking the phenyl, the most retentive to the changes in selectivity, and if we are taking the C3 similar to phenyl in retention, but some changes in selectivity from C18, C8 and phenyl. If we are taking the cyanide, then most least retentive. Definite changes in selectivity and good resolution, it will give the good resolution. That is good. And if we are matched methods with pH and column choice, choose the base bonded phase for each pH range. Okay, if we are taking the stable bond pH 1 to 6, then use bulky silanes, non-encapped. It is non-encapped. You can see over these. I have drawn the structures here. Eclipse was XDB pH 2 to 9, then proprietary double encapped. It is double encapped. We can see. And bonus RP pH 2 to 8. It's a polar alkyl phase triple uncapped use bulky slants that we are given in this figure. Then you can see this easily extend C18PH2 to 11.5. It is unique bidentate structure and double end caps that is given in this figure. You can see this easily bonded phase selectivity differences in 30% ACN means acetonitrile. What is mobile phase that is given in the 30% acetonitrile and 70% is aqueous phase. Here I have given in the graph that RRHT SBCN that is 4.6 to into 50 mm 1.8 micron. And here I have given it in the second graph that is RRHT HB phenyl. Here cyanide columns, here phenyl. Both the all criteria is same, but the variation in cyanide, phenyl, aqueous, Eclipse plus C18 and SBC18. Here we can see that the Eclipse plus C18 has a better resolution. We can optimize our impurities in better way. So 5 different bonded phases compared here I have, and analysis time of each run is only 2 minutes. Comparison done is optimum percentage organic. The fast runs means comparison can be done even if you have a good separation on C18, more chances to optimize. Okay. And the next is the traditional stationary phase bonding and encapping reactions. What are the traditional stationary phase bonding? Here I have given that first here is the molecules, and if you will react with this, then it will hydrogen will replace with the Cls and it is converted like this. And if you will add the TMS trimethylsilane, then it will be bonded like this and it will converted in and kept with TMS trimethylsilane. Okay. Choose the column configuration for application. If we are taking the nano capillary microbore, narrow bore, solvent silver, analytical, semi preparative and preparative, all columns we know easily. If you are working in the method development lab, if you are working in the preparative lab, if you are working in the any of the impurity sections or analytical method validation, we will know the better that it is used in the proteomic LCMS, it's peptide mapping LCMS, high sensitivity LCMS, sample limited LCMS. Solvent saver is analytical means he has largely accepted, that is analytical development. Here 4.6 m length is 15 to 250, 1.8, 3.5 and 5 and 124 ml per minute, and sensitivity reaction is 1. Here these two columns are used in preparative column chemistry, that is used for the impurity extractions. So if for which purpose you are using, that is been selected by you. Okay. The next is the resolving power. What is the resolving power? If you can see the graph over here, that if we are taking the 150, 100, 75, 50, 30 to 15 column lengths, and resolving power is like that. If we are reducing the analysis time compared to 150 mm column, pressure determined with 60 to 40 methanol water 1 ml in ml per minute, 4.6 mm ID, then the analysis time will be decreases and the solvent analysis and 30 will also decreases. Okay. That's all for today, and I will explain you further the mobile phase sections and also the I will also explain you the normal phase chromatography, or also how to choose the column for normal phase chromatography, how to choose the column for proteins, proteomics, peptides, bonds. That also will be separated easily and easily. So you can watch my channel and like and subscribe. I will be here. And if you have any questions, then you can comment me, and I will definitely answer you at any time of way. Okay, thank you. That's all for today.